We got the jokes, we got the comedy, we got the music right here on Nick at Night. And most of those things can be found on Weeknight there at Early Muller right now. Plus Don.Cammy and Hannah Gale. Mr. Announcer, tell us what else is coming up.
After tonight's Weeknight update episode, we prepare ourselves as we approach the debut of the Hall of Wonders second season. Big things are coming, massive things. And to wrap tonight's program up, let's have some barbecue time. Summer is also coming around the corner.
That's right. So, sit back, pull up a chair. It's going to be an exciting, time period for everybody. All right? Whatever. This is Nick at Night. Straight from the YouTube dojo, the tap dancing place of the community. I don't know what that means, but there we go. It's Weeknight, the Early Muller, and now, wait a minute, this guy does know what community is all about. It's a whole group of people, and he also knows a thing or two about tap dancing because he has tap danced in front of people once or twice before. So the announcement really didn't make any sense. But here he is anyway, Mr. Early Gunny Muller. Ha! Welcome to Weeknight Update. I'm Early Gunny Muller, so Grasshoppers. Alright, the theme song is composed and remixed by Babyland Creations and Rocky Road 10. Rocky Road 10 also made the previews. The bumpers were made by Don.Cammy. The animation wizard is Karaoke Animation, and the announcer behind the talking time thing is, of course, Rebecca K. Lunetta. Now, Don.Cammy and Hannah Gale are responsible for helping me out with tonight's program because, they got some outtakes and some behind-the-scenes stuff that you gotta check out, okay? Now, some of the people who I'm giving shout-outs to during the Shoutout Spotlight treatment time, have been on the show before and then they have left. But here we go. Emmanuel Gary was once on the show and he's a great singer and everything else. Megan Zycast was also on the show as well. Of course, she was then a boy named Michael Zycast, but she changed to Megan and things like that. So, but she's still pretty cool. Alright, Babyland Creations, he is pretty cool at playing music and everything else. He's really good. Kirsten C. Taylor, Sammy Webster, the Cat of Object Shows, and Mr. M are great at voice acting and things like that. Now, before we get too far ahead, I want to acknowledge David Newell from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood really quickly. David Newell, for those of you who don't know, played Mr. McFeely on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for 34 years. Okay, it was actually 33 and a half years, but Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood started nationally in February of 1968, but it started taping in September of 1967, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was also a local show in Pittsburgh, from 1965, to, almost the end of 1966. And it became a regional show, and then it became national. Alright, the reason why I'm acknowledging him right now is because he just followed me on Twitter. That's right. As of last night, after this show was done filming, and right when this show was in the editing stage, David Newell started following me on Twitter. Now, don't think of him as a big star. Think of him as someone just like us, alright? And I'm humble by all of that. By the news. Because, I'll tell you something, he is, part of the reason why Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was so successful. The bigger part of the whole thing was of course, the fact that Mr. Rogers, himself was there, and, just like Mr. Rogers, David Newell, aka Mr. McFeely, wants us all to be ourselves, okay? So, I just want to thank him for following me on Twitter, and I also want to let him know that when I say we, I mean yours truly and everybody else on Weeknight Update, we're going to try our best to make this show not only fun, but also you know what, lighthearted and amazing and everything else, alright? You know, and I think that I've talked a little too long about the whole thing, but what can you do? It's a big deal. You know, there you go. Now, what's up? What's up with tap dancing? You know, it's dancing with loud shoes. I mean, think about it. It began in the late 20th century in New York. Of course, it dates back to when clogging was around. No wonder why the shoes are so loud. And here's a tip. Do not use sloppy heel drops. They won't sound good. Yeah, that's why we all need to practice. I mean, come on, use some common sense. My, oh my. This is going to be a crazy episode. Oh well, hey, let's have a little top 8 list with MP and the elephant. Ah, here we go. Okay, where's tonight's category? Tonight's category? Top 8 things that people can call tap dancing. Number 8, loud. Number 7, jumpy. Number 6, tappy. Number 5, happening. Number 4, tapping. Number 3, snazzy. Wait a minute. Number 4, tapping. Yes. Number 3, snazzy. Number 2, hot. And number 1, fine. Wait a minute. Why did you say your number 4 thing twice? Oh no, it's just that sometimes, you know, I get a little confused, and I'm trying to keep myself on track. I mean, on task, you know? Yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep everything in line on the show. Yeah, I'll say. But we try our best. Yes, indeed. Boys, thank you. You know what we do around here. You know, so I gotta tell you this, right? You know, hit the like button. You know, let's carry it up in the comments. You know, let's have a conversation going. You know, subscribe. Ring the bell. You know, we're always here. You know, and always share. Because, hey, you know, we never go on vacation or anything like that. We're always here. Seriously. We're always here. We got more after this. Don't you worry. Right now, here it is, your Weeknight.
And at last I see the light.
And it's like the sky is new.
Dude! Sorry!
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Tune it in.
Tune it in. Turn it on, tune it in, tune it up. Nick at Night.
Here's the old-fashioned way to buy carpeting. March down to the store to pick it out, march back home and wait for him to measure. March back to the store and close the deal, march back home and wait weeks for your carpeting. Well, come on, this is the 1980s. All you have to do is call Empire. We'll get the job done in 3 or 4 days and you won't have to leave your home. So call us today for a free estimate.
588-2300 Empire.
And stop all that marching.
Edward Scott and the boys. Edward, how are you, sir? I'm doing all right, Mr. Muller. We're talking about tap dancing tonight, right? Yes, we are. You tap dance yourself? Well, you know, not really professionally, but, you know, I can do a little bit of tap dancing. Why? I want to see you do a little tap dancing right here, right now. Okay. Now, this isn't great, you know, because I don't have actual tap dancing shoes on. I have, you know, house slippers, but, you know, I can try. see, that wasn't really tap dancing per se. That was more of a sob shoe type of thing. But you know, one of these days, I'll bring out some actual tap dancing shoes, and I can actually do some tap dancing for you. All right, but just a little last minute thing for you folks. You know, thank you very much for letting me know in the comments. You know what you think about the tap dancer, what you thought about it. You know, by the time this airs and things like that. All right. You know what it's time for? You know what it's time to do right now? That's right. A little talking time. Let's go,
now,
huh?
it's time to talk about it.
All right. Now, tap dancing. You know, it's basically what I just showed you right there. You know, for more, for better or worse. You know, actually, more or less. But you know what? Now, it started out in the late 20th century in New York. But what ended up happening was, okay, it actually took place years earlier when they were mixing up, some clogging, which was what the Irish people did, and a couple of other dance moves. You know, and oh boy, this thing keeps on stalling. You know, and sometimes it happens. You know, when something happens, on my end, and then everything just falls down the tubes there. You know, but long story short, if it hadn't been for New York City, then people wouldn't be tap dancing on Broadway today. That wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't happen. You know, and certainly people wouldn't try to use sloppy heels for tap dancing either. You know, because apparently that is not cool. Alright, which is why people always tell us, to practice. Get your rhythm down packed and everything else. My, oh my. That is pretty insane. I'm still trying to get this thing up, but... here we go. That's better. Now, where were we? Yes. You're learning about tap dancing. Now, tap dancing, or at least the earliest parts of it, it dates back to the 1800s. When dance competitions were a common form of entertainment. And we had William Henry, winning what they call a cutting contest. In 1844, we ended up with, we had your clogging and everything else. And the whole thing the whole tap dancing community really began to grow in the late 20th century, in New York. More specifically in the 5 Points district. That is rather interesting. And of course, when you're tap dancing, we already mentioned one of those tips already, which is, of course, avoid the sloppy heel drops and things like that. But we also need to remember, that, don't pay too much attention to the weight of your feet. Because sometimes dancers have a tendency, of leaning back too much when you're tap dancing. When you're tap dancing, you gotta keep an eye on your center of gravity. Alright, and you gotta remember that if you lose control, then you're gonna fall down. Okay, that is a little far-fetched, but what can you do? You know, sometimes, you know, these things happen, you know? And, you know, this is why sometimes, you know, people think of this show as the lose control circus. Because sometimes, you know, things fall apart. And, you know, when things fall apart, you know what, there's not much you can do. There is nothing much you can do. Now, what are we doing tomorrow night? Well, tomorrow night we are going to talk about Broadway. That's right, Diamond Cammy will be here tomorrow, Rocky Boat 10 will be here tomorrow, Hannah Gale, Carol Animation, Anastasia Jane. You know, we're hoping that those two will make it. Laura Amy Williams, we don't really know for sure if she's going to show up or not, but we're hoping, you know, Dan the Two Man will probably show up tomorrow. Dan Weezer, JT Kaler will definitely show up tomorrow because that will be his final appearance. I know, you know, he told us he told me and the rest of the staff ahead of time that he was leaving. So there you go. And who else are we going to have tomorrow? Well, Santinelli, of course, and Rebecca K. Lunetta. Oh, that's going to be quite the show. I think. I think we should all watch for that one. You know. Oh, and Skyvoice Productions. That's right. You know. So all in all, I gotta say this. You know, tomorrow's show is going to be you know, big. All right. I'll see you then. Make sure you watch whatever's coming up next. That's the news. I'm out, skis. Farewell, bye, farewell.
I bet that the producers of that film would get Sophia Carson to play the villain. I bet the producers of I bet the producers of that film will get to see. I bet the producers of that film will get to. I bet the producers of that film. Producers. I bet the producers of that film will get. Will get Sophia Carson. Will get Sophia Carson. Why is this so hard?
Now it's official, and it's okay. Sorry, I really should have had a warm up. La 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 la. Okay.
We gotta go to the altar. Wait, hang on. We gotta go to the altar. No, that's not right. Okay. I know I'm pronouncing it right, but just to make sure. Okay. Altar?
Altar!
Altar.
We gotta go to the altar!
We gotta go to the altar. Okay, so I am pronouncing it right. Okay. Thanks, text-to-speech, Amy. I'm just making sure I'm pronouncing it right. Okay. This is going to be an exciting wedding. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta try it with more feeling. This is going to be an exciting wedding. Wait, no. This is going to be an exciting wedding. Okay. No. You know, I love weddings. I just love weddings. I'm a Nick at Night host now. Right? Try putting in the feeling, like you're excited, like, yay, I'm a Nick at Night host now, right? Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. I'm a Nick at Night host now. Is that right? Better. All right, here. Let's try it one more time for good measures. Okay.
Tune it in.
Turn it on, tune it in, turn it up. Nick at Night.